Two schoolboys stand on a rooftop, claiming they're testing gravity. They drop bricks from the building. Within seconds, an innocent child lies dead on the pavement below. The courtroom falls silent as the judge delivers her verdict, not guilty. 3 minutes. That's all it takes for two killers to walk free, smirking at their victims' grieving parents. Under South Korea's law, children under 14 can't be held criminally responsible, no matter what they've done. 5 years pass. Those same boys are back. This time, they've dragged an unconscious girl to an abandoned construction site. By morning, she's found barely alive, her body broken, her memory shattered by sedatives. When her father confronts the ringleader, the boy laughs in his face, describing every vile detail with pride. He even mocks the father, saying he wouldn't understand the thrill since it's his own daughter. The father snaps, beats the boy senseless, and gets arrested for assaulting a minor. The confession recording? Inadmissible. Forced under duress, they claim. But here's where fate takes a turn. The case lands on Judge Sim's desk. She opens the file, sees the defendant's face, and collapses. Her breathing stops. Her vision blurs. Because 5 years ago, this monster killed her son. That joke of a trial, those 3 minutes that let him walk free, destroyed her family and gave him the confidence to destroy others. Now he's sitting in her courtroom again. And this time, she's not letting him go. Comment below where you're watching from, and if you think justice can truly be served when the law protects the guilty, smash that like button because what happens next will blow your mind. Judge Sim digs deeper. The boy, Injun, claims he tried to stop his friends from hurting the girl. Claims he was forced to be there. Even has bruises to prove they beat him. His lawyer paints him as a victim, a good kid caught in a bad situation. But Sim knows better. She's seen his face before, watched him smile at her son's funeral. She knows exactly what he's capable of. She goes to the crime scene alone, late at night, searching for anything the police missed. And she finds it. A construction foreman's dashcam. The footage shows everything. All 3 boys participated. Injun didn't try to stop anything. He lied under oath. In court, Sim plays the video. The defense lawyer stammers, tries to claim it's fake. The detective presents forensic analysis. Authentic. Unedited. Injun's face goes pale. She rules him a co-perpetrator on the spot, sends the case for reinvestigation, and warns him that one more lie will send him to adult prosecution. But as she steps down from the bench, her colleague rushes over with devastating news. There's a 4th attacker. Someone the girl couldn't identify. Someone who orchestrated everything. And his name is Dohan, the other boy who killed her son 5 years ago. Before Sim can process this, a woman slaps her across the face. Her former mother-in-law screams that everything is Sim's fault. Her son's death, her grandson's death, her family's destruction. All because Sim refused to quit her job, refused to be a proper mother. Sim doesn't defend herself. She stumbles into the stairwell and breaks down alone. Her ex-husband waits for her outside that night, begging her to let go of revenge. But Sim has made her choice. These boys will learn that every evil act has a price. The next day, her superiors demand she recuse herself. Too personal, they say. Conflict of interest. But Sim refuses. She's been investigating Dohan separately, following leads from other victims. Girls who escaped his network. Because Dohan and Injun aren't just assaulters. They're running a criminal operation, manipulating runaway girls, forcing them into prostitution, selling illegal videos. Sim goes to Dohan's apartment alone to retrieve evidence from his computer. He attacks her with a knife. During the struggle, she discovers a hidden room filled with shoes. Each pair represents a girl he's abused. Trophies. He tells her she can't touch him. That he's untouchable. Police sirens save her life. Hit that subscribe button right now because you won't believe how she takes him down. Despite her injuries, Sim rushes back to court with all the evidence. Her superior tries to shut her down, tells her to back off. But something shifts. Judge Gunhai, the woman who gave that 3-minute verdict 5 years ago, begins to question everything she's done. At the trial, Dohan and Injun both lie. Blame the other boys. Play the victim. Their lawyers present forged certificates, claim coercion, insist there's no proof. Then Gunhai does something unexpected. She reveals the boys kept photos with every victim. Sick trophies they couldn't resist taking. The other 2 boys, tired of Dohan's control, backed up everything. Every photo. Every crime. Every lie. In court, Injun cracks. Blames Dohan for everything. They fight, screaming, exposing every detail of their crimes in front of everyone. Gunhai gives the victim time to speak. The girl, Siona, trembling and broken, grips the microphone and begs them to turn her life back to what it was. Her sobs echo through the courtroom. All 4 boys are identified as principal offenders. The case goes to prosecution for reinvestigation. Before adjourning, Gunhai apologizes. She admits she thought being cold and detached made her fair. But she was wrong. She failed these victims. She won't make that mistake again. That night, Sim finally opens the box containing her son's belongings. She touches each item, crying alone, whispering that she finally did it. She takes everything to a memorial and lets the flames carry her grief away. From now on, she's not bound by the past. She's devoted to one mission, making sure juvenile offenders understand their actions have consequences. Her next case shocks the nation. A 13-year-old boy lures an 8-year-old into his apartment, brutally murders him, dismembers the body, then walks into a police station and confesses. Pulls out a blood-stained axe as proof. The victim lived in the same building. They didn't even know each other. Random. Senseless. Under the law, he can't face criminal charges. Maximum sentence, 2 years in a reformatory. Protesters flood the streets demanding the law be abolished. Sim digs into his background. Dropped out of school. History of violence. Single-parent home. Diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. In court, he claims his hallucinations made him do it. Says the victim refused to leave, triggered his symptoms, and he lost control. Then he laughs and asks the judge if it's true that kids under 14 don't go to prison even for murder. His smirk chills the entire courtroom. His mother shows up begging for leniency under the Juvenile Protection Act. Sim tells her to apologize to the victim's parents first. The victim's mother arrives. Doesn't want money. Just wants the killer punished. She leaves a bento box, her son's favorite meal, knowing judges don't accept gifts. That night, Sim eats it. The weight of her responsibility has never felt heavier. The next day, she notices something. Schizophrenic patients can't sustain intense focus for complex tasks. Yet this boy cleaned the crime scene perfectly, disposed of the body with precision, and knew exactly how to exploit the law. There's only one explanation. He's not the real killer. He's taking the fall for someone else. Sim pulls the elevator footage. There's a girl. Her name is Han. The boy, Beck, completely loses it when Sim mentions her, screaming that she has nothing to do with this. Phone records show they talked constantly before the murder. A detective reveals that when Beck turned himself in, he kept looking back at someone in the crowd. Han. Sim tracks her to an internet cafe. Han tries to run, panics, and corners herself. Her parents live in America, barely involved in her life. Her lawyer tells her to stay silent. But Sim whispers one thing, guess what Beck said after the trial? Han's mask cracks. Share this video if you believe every child deserves a chance, but every crime deserves a consequence. Under interrogation, Han admits nothing until Sim detains her for being a minor at an internet cafe late at night. The case explodes in the media. Sim is accused of prejudice, of unlawfully detaining an innocent girl. Her superior is furious. But Sim doesn't stop. She convinces Beck's mother to get him to tell the truth in exchange for a reduced sentence. In court, Han admits to the murder but claims insanity. Beck admits to helping but says he thought it was a joke. Sim presents their chat logs. Han asked for Beck's address. Beck replied asking if the victim was alive, if she checked the cameras. They conspired. The defense calls Han psychiatrist. She has severe persecutory delusions, the doctor says. Unstable emotions. Could lose control at any moment. But Sim has one more move. She pits them against each other. Through sharp questioning, Han confesses that Beck stood outside the bathroom instructing her how to clean the scene and dispose of the body. Beck explodes, screaming that she did it herself, that she danced around afterward in excitement. They tear each other apart, revealing every horrifying detail. The victim's mother begs them to stop. She doesn't care about their disorders or excuses. She just wants to know why her innocent child had to die. She pleads for severe punishment so this never happens again. The judge is deliberate. Han gets 20 years. Beck gets 2 years in a juvenile facility. Han screams that she's innocent, thrashing in the courtroom. Everyone knows she'll probably never change. But at least the court did its job. Later, it's revealed that when the victim begged Han to call his mother, her face turned dark and terrifying. The word "mom" triggered something deep and hateful inside her. That suppressed rage drove her to kill. After the verdict, Beck's mother confronts the judges, demanding to know why her son can't be released when he didn't kill anyone. Sim responds coldly, "Because the child died in your house, and your son helped cover it up. One mother lost her child forever because of your son's choice. Who answers for her pain?" Those words shatter Beck's mother. Only when she gets home and sees the bloodstains on her floor does she realize her son committed an unforgivable crime. The cases keep coming. A car accident involving unlicensed teenage drivers kills a delivery man. The driver, Doziak, previously served time in a facility and was trying to turn his life around. The other teens claim he forced them into the car. His mother insists a boy named Nam was the real mastermind, that Doziak was coerced. Both sides contradict each other. Then Doziak's condition worsens. He falls into a vegetative state. The case stalls until a girl named Miju delivers a USB drive showing Nam bullying Doziak. In court, Sim suspends the live recording so Miju can testify without legal consequences or her friends finding out. Miju reveals that Nam and his group took private photos of her and used them for blackmail. Doziak tried to help her delete the photos, which is why he was forced to join them. But this doesn't change the fact that he drove the car and someone died. The case escalates to a juvenile criminal case. Doziak's family faces civil liability. Sim wants to hold Nam accountable, but her superior stops her. No solid evidence. The opposing side has top lawyers. Continuing would waste resources. At the hearing, the remaining 4 minors are found not guilty. They cheer. The delivery man's wife and Doziak's mother break down. Sim delivers her final statement. At the moment of the crash, Doziak violently turned the steering wheel toward himself, taking the full impact so the others could survive. You should at least know how many lives you've sacrificed to be standing here today. The next case involves a juvenile care center director accused of embezzling funds and abusing girls. Multiple girls identify the director, Ms. O, as a devil who fed them spoiled food while preparing fresh meals for her own daughter, forced them to do housework for profit, and beat anyone who complained. One girl ended up with broken bones. But when Sim investigates, she discovers the girls are lying. Ms. O used donated funds to pay the injured girl's medical bills. The girl says Ms. O is like a mother to her. Sim feels deep guilt and rushes back to apologize, only to find the center in chaos. Ms. O collapsed after hearing the center might shut down. Her daughter, Aram, smashed everything and kicked the girls out. Aram breaks down, saying her mother's obsession with those girls drove her father away, that her mother always ignored her and her sister. Sim realizes Aram was the one who reported the center, desperate for her mother's attention. One girl calls saying the leader, Nana, is forcing them to sleep with men for money. They're hiding in a motel near Seoul Station. Sim's team races through Seoul. Inside the motel, a girl holds broken glass, warning a man to stay back. Police break down the door just in time. All the girls are rescued except Nana. Aram reveals she told Nana her mother was sick to lure her home. But when Nana arrived, her mother wasn't sick. She had a new lover. She looked at Nana with disgust and let the lover beat her while she watched. Ms. O finds Nana on the stairs, covered in blood, and holds her tight. She understands that many juvenile offenders come from broken families and release their pain in extreme ways. That's why she tries to heal every child. But Sim reminds her that while caring for other people's children, she neglected her own daughter. The next day, Sim delivers the verdict. Each girl receives punishment and mandatory reformatory time. All guardians must receive education, especially Nana's mother. Sim warns them to pay closer attention to how their children live because no child can grow up alone. Then comes the case that changes everything. Exam papers leaked at a top high school. The case involves a special club called Descartes, whose members' parents rank in the top 3% of wealth. Judge Kong, Sim's superior, is assigned the case. He's planning to resign after this trial and enter politics to push for juvenile law reform. But on his way home, his eldest son, Sin-woo, calls. The police showed up. Sin-woo is involved in the leak. Kong rushes home in a rage. His wife explains it was just once, that Sin-woo dropped out of the club immediately. She insists only the teaching director knows the list, so if they stay quiet, it will pass. But Kong is in charge of the case. The whole country is watching. He can't let the guilty go free. The next day, news reports that Kong is entering politics. Sin-woo plans to turn himself in but hesitates, afraid of ruining his father's future. That night, a congressman warns Kong to handle the case properly to gain public trust. Right after, police call. Sin-woo ran into traffic and was hit by a car. Severe injuries. Guilt crushes Kong. That morning, he told his son to die outside and not drag anyone down. His wife blames him, saying he constantly compared Sin-woo to their younger son, called him stupid, belittled him. To earn approval, Sin-woo studied desperately, slept only 3 hours a night, relied on sleeping pills. His wife says she persuaded Sin-woo to join the club, but he quit after one meeting out of guilt. She begs Kong to let their children live their own lives instead of suffering for his ambition. Sim questions a student involved in the case. The homeroom teacher admits the school ignored these acts to keep its college admission rate high. Elite parents see college entrance as a silent war. No one wants their child to lose. Kong meets with the congressman, admits his son is involved, says he'll withdraw from the election. The congressman refuses, warns him that if the truth comes out, the media will destroy them both and damage the entire justice system. He urges Kong to protect his son and protect innocent people. Kong chooses to go against his principles. He secretly asks the teaching director to deny all accusations. On the day of the hearing, he only selects defense witnesses. Sim notices immediately. When she presses him, Kong loses control, warns her his patience has limits. Later, a student reveals there were 24 students involved, but the list shows only 21. Sim suspects the 3 hidden students are children of politicians or elites. She narrows it down to 6 students and recognizes one face. Kang's son. She's seen him in Kang's family photo. That night, Sim and her colleague confront Kang at the hospital. She urges him to turn himself in. He refuses. The trial continues. Kang ignores key witnesses, tries to close the case quickly. Sim oversteps her authority and declares a recess. Back in the office, Kang explodes, but Sim threatens to report everything to the chief. Kang insists she has no evidence and warns he'll strike back. The high school lets students involved drop out. Their records stay intact. The case won't affect their futures. But innocent students face sudden retests, harsher competition. Sin-woo wakes up. Sim tries to persuade him to confess. He believes doing so would betray his father. She tells him everyone makes mistakes, but how one deals with them decides what kind of person they become. Sin-woo confesses. Sim reports it to the chief. Kang panics. The chief says he needs a day to think. Sim has a long talk with Kang. She knows at heart he's a good judge. For 5 years, he worked to revise juvenile law, to reduce prejudice toward minors. He entered politics for the same reason. But she cannot accept that he achieves his ideals by sacrificing innocent children's futures. Driven by justice, Kang walks into the courtroom with his son and confesses everything. All students involved receive punishment. After the trial, Kang packs his things and leaves. His colleague, Tae-ju, catches up, reveals he used to be in a reformatory. A kind judge helped him turn his life around. He shows an old photo. The judge is Kang. Tae-ju worked hard to become a judge to stand by Kang's side and repay his kindness. Kang smiles, says he recognized him immediately, that he's grateful Tae-ju grew into an outstanding man. Tae-ju bends down and ties Kang's shoelaces, just like Kang once did for him. He thanks him for scolding him back then, for taking his side. Kang says solemnly, "Don't ever follow in my footsteps." He leaves without looking back. Tae-ju bows deeply. That night, Sim finds a letter Kang left. He writes that he has nothing against her because she was right. He hopes she continues to be a good judge, hopes she finishes the work he cannot complete. And that becomes the goal Sim has always pursued. Regardless of whether Korea's juvenile law is ever reformed, she vows to stay true to her principles and judge every young offender fairly. Because mercy without accountability isn't justice. It's permission to destroy more lives.